first up, make a motion on the abstract, $100,949.34. Make a motion? Second? All in favor? Trustee Montgomery?
I approve it with taking that one PO out for further verification.
Okay. Charlie?
Yes.
Steve? Yes. Me, yes. Move on. All business, before all business, I always like to say what I
We
do.
can't hear
This
you.
has been-
Yeah.
This is,
Thank you.
Before we go to old business, I always like to say what the mayor did. This is the last 3 weeks since we had a meeting. We had General Montgomery Day. That was an excellent turnout, very good, and the weather held off. Next up, a new park bench. There was a report of a damaged park bench down here. Former trustee Randy Wilbur said he will donate or build one there. We had an emergency down at the sewer plant. A transfer switch went. It's been on, I guess, sort of Band-Aids for several years, and it's just about under $9,000, so we had to replace that. I had great feedback on General Montgomery Day. That was excellent job you guys did. It was just good. The deputy mayor and I appeared about 2 weeks ago in Maybrook to give them a plaque for them being 100 years old. They appreciated that. On September 11th, we had a concert down here. It was a leftover concert from the summertime because of rain. So they scheduled it on 9/11. I was kind of like, oh, what a day to do it, but it was done fantastic. There was an American flag in the back. We handed out flags to everybody. The band played God Bless America. The tree was lit at Village Hall. It was awesome. It really was nice. There was a Charlie Kirk visual down here at the at Veterans Memorial Park. It was not a village. It was not a village event, but it was peaceful. There was no violence. It was I'm very proud of this village, and I didn't expect any situation. I'm very proud of our Department of Public Works, and this is probably not a vote getter, but I'll tell you this much: these guys need a boost in salary. I don't mean just their annual raise. These guys need to be brought up like all the other municipalities around here. They're underpaid. They went out and they fixed every fire hydrant except 3 in this village. Every fire hydrant is fixed, and I don't ever want to see a fire hydrant go out again. One fire hydrant out is too many, so they did it. This is a pleasant thing. The caboose that's out here that is going to be redone and made to look beautiful in this village. I happen to the Hopewell Junction Museum down there contacted me. They wanted to know about our caboose and what we're doing and all about the village of Montgomery. So my wife and I went down there. It was like a wedding. They treated us like the bride and groom. They wanted to know all about this village, and we told them about the village. We told them they paid $15,000 for their caboose. We paid $1. They paid, I think, $15,000 to have it delivered. We got it for nothing at $20,000. Metro North donated the tracks, but what they did, they wanted to know about this village. 3 of them had connections here, but they're all going to come up as a group. They're going to visit the village. I'm going to show them all around. They're going to see our businesses. They treated us well, and we bragged about this village. The car show was absolutely, it gets great. Every year it gets better and better. And Brian Fitzpatrick, he was running it for years, and he gets older, and he's still involved with it. But we turned it over, and we had probably, I'd say, about 120 cars. Next year, they're looking at maybe having some sort of fancy motorcycles there or something like that. But 120 cars, it was just, I can't say enough. We got a plaque for Peter Snyder. Now, Peter Snyder here, he built a railroad, a model railroad. You got to see it over here in the museum. It is awesome. He did it. He knows what the old railroad station looked like, and he built it to specs. So we have a plaque for him, and we sent it out to, I believe he lives in Ohio. I sent it out today. I just signed today for an air conditioner grant here for our I always get this mixed up, Yeah, that grant. So that was signed for today, so they should have this in shortly. But these are the things we did, and there's a lot of other things too, but these are the highlights of what happened in the last 3 weeks. So now we're gonna move on to old business. I moved the summer recreation update to be first. They were supposed to be on the agenda, and they were accidentally left off. They gotta go first because they got kids to put to bed. So, summer recreation, you're up.
Good evening. I'd like to start off summer camp this year with one of our most successful camps so far in the 20, I'm making myself old now, the 20 plus years that we've been doing. I also would like to take the time, I've got my 3 senior staff members, Jen Hamberry, Michelle Donovan, Justin Campbell. Without these people, the camp doesn't work. They, Jen, I still haven't figured out how she does. Without the daily workings of the camp, her dismissal time, by the second day, she knows every car out there. I don't know how she does it, but I'm amazed. Michelle was in charge of our CIT program. She did weekly observations and kept track with the scheduling and all that. Justin did all the special events. Each week we had a special event, Camp Olympics, dodgeball tournaments, everything. He's responsible for the daily schedule. I would also like to read a letter that I sent to the mayor and the village trustees. On behalf of the summer camp staff, counselors, CITs, and especially the campers, I would like to extend a grateful thank you to the many first responders that took the time to visit us on Monday, July 14th. They included Montgomery Fire Department, Montgomery Ambulance Corps, and the Village of Montgomery Police Department. They brought many pieces of their equipment with them and took the time to explain to the campers their roles in the community and the important job they perform. Also, on Monday, July 21st, we were visited by the Orange County Sheriff's Department, Early Response Team, or the SWAT team, the K-9 unit, and the Child Safe program. I would like to thank these individuals for taking the time for their busy day to explain the roles in the community to the campers. The Early Response Team actually brought the Bearcat vehicle, which is, when you look at it, it's quite frightening, to be honest. It's so big. And then it's Child Safe, registered all the kids, and they all got their ID cards with the state. I finished it up by saying thank you to all for a job well done, respectfully, the camp staff. Jen is going to give you some more information, all right? Thank you.
Tom works really hard on our budget. We're self-sufficient in terms of what we bring in and what we're able to use. Kids were able to hold kangaroos this year. They got to enjoy all the things, you know, we used to do trips, but it's like $40 to take the kid to the movies, and it's just, it doesn't work in a working family for that, so we bring all the fun to them, and we appreciate it. We keep a daily attendance log. We can take no more than 150 kids a day. We had attendance over 85% every day. I think we only have 1.5 rain days, and Jordan, you can remind me, but I think I had a shutdown dismissal. It just got too scary out there, so as soon as that was done, then we went back up. Parents were wonderful. We have tons of letters here if anybody would like to see, you know, how they put our children in our hands, and we do, you know, take our job very seriously. We make sure that traffic flows nicely, and the reason I have to learn all of their names is because, and all of their cards is because it's a scary world, and I do not release a child to anyone I don't know, and it's not a 16-year-old's job to have that responsibility. So every parent comes to me, and then I release them, and I think that's how it should be done. So, but can't do it without you guys, so I appreciate it. So, thank you for supporting us because we couldn't do that. So we appreciate it.
One more thing. they're not here, but our medical staff, we had 3 RNs and an EMT on staff. Besides the daily little bumps and bruises and all of that, they also, during lunchtime, were in charge of doing the sunscreen for all of these kids. The older kids, it's no problem. The 5 and 6-year-olds, they had to do it themselves. And thank you to them. Again, they're not here, but they did a fantastic job.
They take a bath in it every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't receive the letter that you just read. Did you send that to the village?
Yeah,
I don't have, I didn't receive it.
I'll
That's what I was asking.
make copies and I'll bring them over and leave them at Village Hall.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next up, I'm proud to promote Charles LaRocca and name him chairman of the zoning board of appeals. He's been on it for many years. And well deserving of it. Well deserving, a good volunteer, and good man. Good night, guys. Next up, Paul Prezioso.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm Carl Prezioso. I'm the current chairman of the board for the Montgomery Fire District. I was pleased to hear your update in the beginning about the hydrants. At some point, maybe we can hear what the plan is for the remaining 3. That'd be great. But
I can
at
tell you,
our,
they're
well,
going to be replaced.
they're going to be replaced. And a time frame for that?
Fast. Trade style.
At our monthly board meeting on September 8th, we had a number of Montgomery residents join us and voice some concerns about the hydrants in our village. The board met afterwards, and we decided that we wanted to draft a letter to the board extending what our position is and what our concerns were. I want to read it to you now. I know each of you received it, but I think it's just as important for each of the residents of Montgomery to understand what their board of fire commissioners, what our position is on hydrants. To the Village of Montgomery Board of Trustees, I'm writing on behalf of the Montgomery Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners to respectfully request that all fire hydrants within the Village of Montgomery be inspected to ensure they are in proper working condition. Fire hydrants are a critical component of public safety, and it is essential that they remain reliable and accessible at all times. Specifically, I am requesting the following. 1, a full inspection of all fire hydrants in the village to include all caps, connections, and the operating map. Number 2, any hydrants found to be in need of repair or replacement be addressed as soon as possible. Number 3, any hydrants currently out of service be clearly marked as such to avoid delays during emergency response. And lastly, immediate notification to the fire department of any hydrants that are out of service, as well as prompt updates if additional hydrants become out of service in the future. These steps are vital to maintaining the safety of our residents, businesses, and first responders. Prompt action will help ensure that our fire protection systems remain dependable in the event of an emergency. Thank you for your attention to this important matter. I appreciate your cooperation in keeping our community safe and look forward to your response. Respectfully, Carl Prezioso, Chairman, Montgomery Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners.
Thank you, Carl. I also ask, could you guys, if you find fires that are not working, let us know too, please.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
What I'd like to also offer is that the Board of Fire Commissioners, if there's anything that we can do to help meet with the board and the village to put together some type of communication process to ensure that as hydrants are identified, whether it be by the DPW or whether it be by the fire department itself, that we have a process in place so that we can communicate quickly, effectively. 1, to let each other know when something's out of service, but just as importantly, what the time frame is to get something taken care of, and then when it is back in service.
Well, yeah, that's great. Debbie will let you know when hydrants are fixed, but we're a small community, so you can just call Jake and say, Jake, this hydrant's out.
No, that's fine.
Yeah, that's.
Because there was some question at our board meeting as to what actually was the process. So if there is a process that's in place I don't know if there's anything that's documented that can be shared with the board, but it might be worthwhile to put something in place because the members or the folks that are involved today may not be the members that are involved tomorrow, whether it be on the DPW side or the Board of Fire Commissioners side or the Fire Department side. So it'd just be nice to have something documented so that it's in place for future use.
Thank you.
And then the last thing I'd ask is that, or the board would ask, is that there's better identification of out-of-service hydrants. Today, there's a ring with a zip tie that's put on one of the outlets to let folks know that it's out of service. It's not very visible. It's red. It blends with the red hydrant, and I know that it's probably to keep things, as tastefully looking as possible. But in our opinion, it should be as ugly as possible, right? For two reasons. One, an eyesore tends to get people's attention, the right attention to get it fixed quickly. But more importantly is that when our first responders do go to a residence or to a business or in need of a hydrant, they don't spend precious seconds going to that hydrant only to find out that it's not marked properly or in a way that's outwardly visible. I know that one of the hydrants down on my adjoins my property, 245, it was marked, but it's on one of the side feeds that unless you pulled up there and you were specifically looking at that side, you'd never see it. Precious seconds can be the difference between saving a structure, saving lives, and people's property. So we would just ask that there be some discussion about making it as ugly as possible. And I say that, loosely, but we need to make it obvious for all the first responders. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Next up, discussion about AV equipment.
The board, I sent out the report to the board about the audiovisual closet with microphones for the senior center. Thank you so much. There we go. Thank you so much. I did distribute the updated report to the board and the mayor yesterday for discussion. If there's no further questions on it, I respectfully request that the board vote to approve the proposed action plan and authorize the initial steps for the installation of the new audiovisual equipment. This will ensure that both in-person attendees and online viewers are able to clearly hear the members of the board during meetings.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Discussion here. This equipment that we have down here, we had two professionals say it was working.
Yeah, so
We had two professionals come down here and say this equipment is working. So what is the deal? Do we need
If it was working, we would have microphones on our table right now, sir. Thank you.
Right, they'll put them out there.
Right. I received no reports from any other company that it's working. We are able to,
How much does this cost?
nothing, $0.
No money? Well, then how do you turn that down? Of course I'll vote yes for that.
Can we just put a date on, a tentative date or a timeline by which it will be taken care of and installed so that everybody knows how to use it and it's good to go before the next meeting?
I'm sorry, Randy, I didn't hear you.
Can we just put a date on it or like a time?
Absolutely. I am currently working with the village clerk to see what dates the senior center is not rented so that we can have the company come in and make those changes. And I'm also working with Joanne here at the senior center for the cabinet, which I showed in my report.
The next meeting is October, our next meeting is October.
Yeah, so the goal would be before our next meeting.
No, that is great. That is good, because I'm really tight in the buck here in this village, but that's great news. Thank you. All right, make a motion? Did we make a motion? Okay, then I vote yes.
Yes.
Steve? Randy?
Aye, we're doing roll call.
Roll call? Okay. Cynthia?
Aye.
Tony? Carrie? Thank you. Next up, handbook, village handbook. Who's talking on that? We holding off on that till the next meeting?
Nope, we were able to vote for it and to make the motion.
Microphone.
So I make a motion that we go ahead and vote for it. All it has to do is be approved by the two unions. And so we can tentatively vote to pass off and get this done. And a final draft will be done with an index of pages.
I'll second that.
All right, roll call, Cynthia?
Aye.
Darlene? Myself, aye.
Aye.
Randy, Steve?
Aye.
Okay, pass. Carry. All right, that's it. Now we have, anything else in here? New business, event discussions. Tracy, Casey?
Okay, so first, before I begin, I want to take a minute to thank the members of our community, our village police department, DPW, mayor, and deputy mayor for all their support, messages and of encouragement and offer to volunteer for all of the events we've been having. It really does mean so much to still have a sense of community. As most of you know, my name is Tracy. I am a village resident and a volunteer and organizer of events. And tonight I'm here because the board has a list of events that I want to get approved for the rest of this year and next year. And my second ask of the board is to consider a fee reduction in the rental when hosting events, since proceeds go to benefit our village, such as the food pantry or the library. So it considers costs to be able to donate.
Tracy, could you use the mic a little bit more?
It's on, it's on. Yeah.
Tilt it towards you. There you go.
I'm short, I'm sorry. Doesn't help.
Want to try this one?
It's on. So the board has a list of the events that I want to get approved for the rest of the year and for next year. And my second ask, my second ask was for a reduction in fee when using village, senior center, rec center, so that our donations are more cost effective.
Well, the senior, the alumni grad, we gave them this place for $50. You're doing good for the community. Breakfast with Santa, the Easter Bunny, all the stuff you're doing, you're volunteering. You don't do anything. None of you have to do anything. You're volunteering. I recommend $50. That's what I like. We charge you $50 and everything else, like you donated money from the car show to the food bank. This is money that would go to a good cause. If you had to pay the $400 for a resident or $600 for a non-resident, that's that much less that goes to your good cause. You've donated to so many different places, so I guess we have to charge something. But I'd say $50. I'm just one person on the board.
We actually have to take it under review. We were talking to Will about it, saying there's a gift policy as far as giving the facilities.
We don't want to get
Which we're talking about, but any discount is considered a gift by the state. So we're working out the legalities of how exactly it has to be worded, and it has to be something straight across the board. So we can't give one nonprofit 50
community so they know they're happening.
Yeah, there's an event on here for this December 12th.
Yeah, other ones are past the budget end, so we wouldn't be able to do anything with those until next year's budget.
But those aren't, but they're
Right,
not
understood.
anything that you
Understood.
would.
But like I said, we have to review it, we will, on what we're allowed to do,
No,
just to make sure we're doing it.
These events are,
We're
would
not
be
sponsored by the
the
village.
village,
No money
these
comes
are
from the
our
village.
events.
That's the other part of the thing that we have to work out. So right now, if there's any use of village equipment or village employees, there's a liability associated with it. And so we have to work on, we're defining what a sole entity fundraiser is, a village fundraiser, and then we have to create a mix. So one that has both, and then we'll have some different, as far as providing insurance, we'll have to all have.
We had our own insurance, so my question is, moving forward, any event that any resident holds in the village is going through this entire process, I just want to,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
any,
Will's gonna make
I'm
it
sorry.
Yeah, Board of Health, yeah, professional.
You can ask everyone.
The thing I find here, let's stick with the subject, the thing I find here is you're doing it, you're renting the place, okay?
Well, no, so
you're not getting police or anything like this, you're
Nope.
doing a private
Private
here and
events.
donating into the village.
Correct.
So it's not,
Yeah, and we thank you for everything that we do, and we love it. We have your list of events. We are currently working with the attorney, with the state to make sure that we're compliant
So
with
can
everything.
I have a
So
date
tonight,
as to when you
tonight,
guys will, on tape, like when you guys will give us the
we only
decision?
received this information today, so I thought
Well,
you were
I
gonna
gave
discuss
it
the
last
event.
week, so I don't know how we only received it
It's
today.
not this information, the information they talk about is from.
Yeah, I'm not referring here.
So let me just be clear on what you're saying. So any event that happens in this village where the police are involved, it has to go through this board?
Not just police.
That's not
It's
what
like,
The police, DPW, anything to do village?
even if it's just equipment or a building or a facility. So what there can be is a response in kind. So if there's a service provided by the organization, I think we used the Boy Scouts as an example. So they did projects that could be credited towards it, then we can in-kind gift the facility to it. But we have to work out the legal aspects of it to make it right. That's a Will thing, and he's not here tonight, so we're gonna.
So wait, so I'm not asking, okay, so
And
forget
my
about renting
understanding
the
is,
building.
my understanding is the same with Wales, that there's some additional review the village board needs to do in situations such as this.
So, for example, the St. Pat's Ramble, that doesn't come in front of this board, how does that get handled with you guys? The car
I'm just
show
gonna go back to
doesn't go
what
in
I
front
said,
of this
we're
board,
gonna take
how
it
does
to
that get
review, we're
handled?
gonna work with Will to get it hammered out, but it's not a debate I can solve.
No, I
on the
understand,
board.
but I'm just saying, for example, so you're saying anything that is village, police, DPW, equipment, tables, chairs, anything of that nature, that's what you're
It's
saying?
given to the entity, it has to be given to every other entity equally.
Okay,
So that the
I mean,
problem is coming
here's
up
my
with that set
example.
number.
There's a pocketbook bingo this weekend in this senior center that the senior center, you guys approved for them to use the hall for nothing. That means tables and chairs, whatever they want, it's being used for
Again,
nothing.
I'm not
Again,
gonna go
I'm not
retroactive
arguing
with
with you,
something that was
I'm making a point.
Well, he was
There
our
was-
attorney when it was done.
There
so
was,
he's aware of this.
a visual that the police were part of. Did that have to get
I'm
approved?
not disagreeing with you.
But
saying
I'm
again,
making a point.
For the same reason that 2 years ago, we were able to do General Montgomery Day, but now it has to be done out on an outside fund. We learn of laws, and then we have to come in compliance with them. We can't just ignore them because we don't want to.
Well,
So,
Okay, so my question is when am I gonna have a date to know if my events are approved? I need to know a date is all. Because it has nothing to do with your budget to know these events in particular.
you're right, it has to do with what Will comes up with and what we go as a board review and go over.
What's the difference between the adoption event for next year as to having it this past year?
Again, I'm gonna go back to, we have to do with Will, I'm not gonna make a comment on it tonight, it's not my place to make a comment.
Okay. All right, so can we, I mean, you guys talk well all the time, so can we have a date in place? Because if not, I
I would
can
say by
move
the
the
next
events.
meeting.
I think his intention was to have it by the next meeting.
By the next meeting.
Okay.
But I'll go back and I'll add, if you have an public park down here. The visual that was here the other day. The police recognized that this visual was going on. They provided extra police. That was up to a police chief. He could have had nobody, or he could have had everybody. Had nothing to do, no bill was sent to the visual. If you're doing something here, it's up to the police department. You didn't ask for police. It's up to the police department to look at it and say, we need extra police, or we don't. It should not be on you.
So the senior center parking lot, that was, they used that, they didn't need to rent it, correct? For the visual.
No?
Okay, so,
I got a phone call that, I got a courtesy phone call that was going on. Other than that, it just happened.
right. So for the adoption event that's being held in the parking lot, that needs to get a group count. I mean, what needs to be approved for that? There's no police, they just come and enjoy the day.
You're also a resident, you're a private citizen. This is a public park.
Yeah, I'm just asking,
I know.
I'm simply asking because these things take time.
Right.
Events take time.
Attorney Brian, we discussed this in a meeting plan, but I don't know what the needs to do on what should and shouldn't be said or the way to de-escalate something that doesn't, that it's not.
I actually am on the agenda and I'm just talking about
So-
something that I,
Will didn't go in detail with me. My understanding is that when we discussed that, these events will be discussed, but they weren't going to be approved today because there's some additional, I guess, review and information that the board needed to look at before making the final decision.
Perspective, we'd like to do that for you.
so what is the additional information? Do you need anything?
We have this before the next meeting, and we'll have discussion.
Maybe
What's
use the
the
microphone
additional
because we
information?
can't hear.
You're gonna have to use the microphone.
I'm just asking what's the additional information?
Discuss the attorney.
I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of it. I will not be at the next meeting.
Again, thank you. We're working hard for it.
Let me check to see if that microphone.
Again, I thank you for what you said. All right, motion discussion, roll call. That's not, okay, I'm just doing. Authorized transfer of, 25-26 official year funds, $700 from the mayor.
Microphone, please.
From the mayoral
Mike,
contract.
could you use the microphone? Please, thank you.
Authorized transfer of $700 from the mayoral contract to celebrations. This would be used to pay for porta potties at the car show, that was $400. The plaque that I mentioned going to Peter Snyder, and $145.02 for the senior contribution contract. They were short money, so I took it out of my account. I need a motion to transfer that money out of my money. Now, I have X amount of dollars that I can use to wine and dine and rub elbows with other politicians. I don't do that, so I have a nice fat little account there, which I would use for other things like this. But I need a motion to pass this over, to transfer it over. So I make a motion to transfer the $700 from the mayor contractor to celebrations. You make a motion? Second? Good discussion.
I have a question about, in general, about the transfers.
Microphone.
I'm sorry? I have a question about transfers in general. This is from this budget? Right. It's my understanding that we haven't done our transfers from last year yet. Can you clarify? And I understand you're not the treasurer, but I know that, I didn't get time to ask her.
So just to clarify, they've been working on all the changes from last year, and because they had to manage the AFR with Ron Plum this week, they have not provided that. They were trying to, unfortunately, one person was not available to finish that, and then it'll be agreed on or reviewed with you guys on October 7th. But the 3 here, and if you want, I'll explain them all today, and then you can make your motions independently. The first one, like Mike said, is to manage the 700 and move it from The mayor's line to the celebrations. The third line is same thing, mayor's line to cover the additional shipping costs for the picnic table, because the shipping went up way higher. The second line, which is the 14.5, that's nothing to do with incremental money. It's the same money that was outlined when we had the budget. I don't know if you guys recall, there was 2 lines for the director budget, and we eliminated one. Well, for appropriate nomenclature, we unfortunately eliminated the wrong one, so we're just switching it back to the right one. No incremental
So
funding
we're
there.
starting off this year by doing transfers
As
from
soon
the
as we
start.
can.
Okay, that was what I wanted to
As soon
clarify.
as we can.
Thank you.
Sometimes it'll be quarterly, but as soon as we can.
Thank you.
All right, roll call, Cynthia.
On
The whole
one
thing?
or all? Yeah, we doing all?
I would say do them one at a time.
Yeah, I thought it was one at a time. Darlene? Myself? Yes. Randy?
No.
Steve?
Aye.
Carrie? Summer recreation, personal services, 14,500. What are we transferring that into?
It's just a change in nomenclature.
Okay. Make a motion? Second?
I'll second it. I'm sorry.
Open for discussion? Steve?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Darlene?
Aye.
Cynthia?
Aye.
Carrie? And the 142, we covered that already, right? We didn't cover that?
You need a motion for that.
All right, same thing with the mayor contract rule, the 145 too, that was covering the shipping and handling for the picnic table?
That is correct.
All right, so I forgot what it was for, but I knew it was something like that. All right, so make a motion for that. Second?
I'll second.
Open for discussion? Steve?
Aye.
Randy?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Darlene? Cynthia?
Aye.
Oh, Carrie. That's it. Public portion?
Want me to go first? You go first. Good evening. I don't think I need it.
Everybody really needs it, because you can't, I did watch the meeting back last week, and when you're watching it, you can't even hear a single word, not a word.
Test,
There we
test,
go.
test.
That's what we want to hear.
Good evening. Bob Reynolds, 76 Weaver Street, Montgomery, New York. On September 8th, I posted on social media a list of fire hydrants that was read off here at the September 2nd meeting by Bob Athanas. This was after the board voted not to do the repairs that was authorized at a special meeting that I believe was on August 1st. There was no explanation given as to why the hydrants were not getting repaired or when the hydrants would be repaired. After posting this list on Facebook, I was admonished by a village board member replying to my Facebook post saying I was politicizing this issue and accused of fear-mongering. Just to educate people that may not know me, I am not, nor have I ever been involved with any political village election. I have never run for any office, nor do I have the desire to do so currently. I have no reason to politicize this problem. I read in the Wallkill Valley Times on Thursday, September 11th, that during a post-meeting conversation, Trustee Noakland provided clarification on the hydrant situation. She said that after the August 1st meeting, council told them they could not use the money from the fund balance, hence the board needed to rescind the motion and determine the funding source. Why couldn't this have been shared during the meeting? And this was a month after the original meeting. You can't give answers on where the money is coming from, only what you couldn't do. Do you have any plans for emergencies? What would you do if we have an extremely harsh, unpredicted cold winter and multiple water mains broke? Just shut off the water and tell the residents we will figure it out in a month or two? Getting back to the fear-mongering, absolutely 100% guilty. I was going to give my resume and my credentials in the fire service and what I have been involved with in my many years of service, but this isn't about me. This is about you. your mismanagement, your lack of oversight, your lack of accountability, your lack of planning, your lack of transparency, your inability to complete anything. I don't care if you've been here for 6 months, 6 years, or 16 years. I will say in February I will have 50 years of service with the Montgomery Fire District, and I have been very passionate about fire protection. So yeah, I'm a little bit of a fear monger when it comes to fire safety. I worry about my firefighters pulling up to a fire hydrant at 3 in the morning that doesn't work or is even more as per the statements that were made here on September 2nd. Imagine your house on fire and having to wait additional minutes to establish a water source. In the fire service, seconds count. And all my previously mentioned years of service the involvement was done on a volunteer basis, no pay. Maybe the people that want to question my motives will give up their taxpayer paycheck and help your community for free. Do it right now. And I also want to ask what's going on with the gym equipment. We haven't gotten any answers on that either.
Next up.
Can you hear me? No. Now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm trying to do a rap start. I'm Rita Santo at 15 Chandler Circle, and I'm in Montgomery, town. I'm representing the Advisory Board for Senior Citizens Center, Inc. Last September, there was a sudden and extreme decision made by the Village of Montgomery trustees that resulted in a disruption in senior programs and a severe cost increase to the village taxpayer for senior services. Recognizing the problem, in an effort to avoid repeating past missteps, the current Village of Montgomery Board voted in May to examine how this change came about. The members of the Advisory Board welcomed this examination. We felt then, and still believe, that our successful programs and dedicated volunteers were mistreated and disparaged by certain village board members at that time, before that time, and continuing until this very day. More importantly, we feel that our senior population should be better served. So the Advisory Board went to work right away, putting together a narrative of events leading to these changes. In this narrative that you just received, you will read about the lack of knowledge with regard to the function of the senior center harbored by each of the 3 board members that voted to eject us from the building that night. It is our contention that the village board on September 3rd, 2024 made this ill-conceived decision in complete ignorance of the organization, function, structure, and importance of the senior programs. Tonight we've given each of you, trustees, a copy of our narrative. This narrative is supported by 128 pages of appendices, and for that reason we're only handing over 1 hard copy of that. We believe this material should be viewed as a public document, and we ask that it be made a permanent part of this village board meeting. We understand that the individuals responsible for the change in administration are likewise producing a narrative. We would like to thank the current board for allowing us to share our experiences over the past 18 months leading up to and beyond September 3rd, 2024, and we look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you very much. I'd like to give you a copy of what I just said.
I'm actually going on a plane tomorrow, so I'll get myself to the park.
Okay. We have to make a motion to have this added to the record in its entirety.
So the board can decide if they want to add, this isn't a public hearing, so there isn't, there isn't necessarily, a record, but if the board wants to accept the submission from, as part of public comment, they can, but there's not like a formal, the board can decide they want to include it with the minutes, but it's not, you're not required to.
Thank you.
Okay, can I also mention that in the packet is the narrative, and only 1 copy of the appendice goes to Cynthia, because she was the one asking for all the material. But we also included the cease and desist letter that we sent to the mayor that he received, or the village received on the 4th of September. So that's in there too.
That's in here?
That's in the manila envelope.
Is that something we are in agreement on to add it into the minutes? I'm asking the board. Where's my,
Is that something that we are in agreement on, to add it into the minutes?
Yeah. Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, I'm sure each member of the board will review and compare the information retained by the village. I did receive earlier copy, so I would like to make a motion to either schedule a work session or include a discussion on the advisory board request for the next meeting. Yeah. Can we schedule, make a motion to schedule a work session? Okay.
I said we just got it. I think we should wait and let us read it, process it, and bring it up at the next meeting, whether or not we, whatever we do with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Next up.
This is on, can you hear me okay? Yes. Hi. Paula Frisora, 133 Charles Street. I'm here to follow up on a complaint that I had started with the village on July 8th by doing a FOIA request on a building permit for 131 Charles Street, in which case I had received zero response until Mayor Montgomery. I received a letter dated September 12th, and I think I received it on September 15th. And you reference village law and that I failed to provide with appropriate administrative remedies with respect to issuance of an illegal building permit. However, I'm disputing that on its face because July 16th was the contest. Now, procedurally, sir, since Mr. Frank is not here, who would be responsible for referring a complaint about a wrongfully issued building permit to the Zoning Board of Appeal?
My understanding of the letter that was sent indicated that you are required to, if you contest the issuance of a building permit, to file an appeal with the zoning.
And I did that by email, sir, right? So second, the issue of saying that there's an unobstructed 10-foot width from the property line, I didn't ask for that. The unobstructed width of the actual driveway encroached on my property line. And that was proven because you received a copy of the survey, right? So as a result, right? Yeah, but anyway. Second, on its face, the 60-day requirement for the ZBA appeal. The building permit was issued on June 2nd. The work, I contested it on July 16th, right? I was not notified of the building permit because it wasn't my building permit, right? I had no knowledge of the fact that a building permit was issued. So on its face, if a building permit is issued and you have a full year to complete work, right? And the work is completed a year later, on its face, someone can not have any knowledge of this building permit and then they would have no remedy. Does that make sense from a procedural perspective, ladies and gentlemen? That I did actually, in response, respond within that 60-day notice, okay? Because I was on that 60-day cusp. So now I'm asking for the board to refer me to the Zoning Board of Appeals so that I can get this stupid building permit revoked because it was illegal on its face. The actual driveway is 10 feet, the 10 foot by law. You cannot issue a building permit for a 10-foot driveway that is going to encroach on another person's real property. That's a fact, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm asking this board, unanimously or whatever, to make a motion that you refer me to the ZBA so that I can actually, have an additional remedy here. Does that make sense? Otherwise, I have a complaint, I will file it in court against the village for improper procedural review, and then I will sue the Gary Damaris at 131 Charles. It costs $12,000 to put a retaining wall that is a correct retaining wall. What is going on right now is not acceptable. There's a minimum 18-inch width required to prevent continued erosion and continued damage to my property. So all I'm asking the board right now is for a referral to the ZBA per my rights. And I had made that request, as you know, on, as soon as I got the letter, actually.
Does she have to ask the board, or does she just go to the ZBA?
You can go directly to the ZBA, you don't need the village board.
There is no meeting for the ZBA. You have to put me on the agenda. I cannot put myself on the agenda. That's the problem.
She has to be referred
Correct.
by either the
Correct.
building inspector, the planning board.
And no one did that. That is not my fault.
And then I would contact the attorney again. The letter you have written there was, I referred this.
I understand.
No, I didn't.
No, I understand.
I signed what.
He wasn't here though, so.
Yeah, the letters that I signed was with the professionals I had too. I don't.
I understand.
So, I would contact the attorney,
Okay.
Mr. Frank,
Okay.
and have it referred that way.
So who refers, what's the procedure to be put on an agenda for the ZBA? Because everyone in the office knew that I was contesting this building permit as of July 8th.
I'll contact the new head.
Okay.
CBA has not had a meeting because of the water moratorium, which is not going to be lifted until.
But if administratively, they are the required board to review the building permit, to revoke it, they have to meet. And that was what the premise of my initial request was, to all the boards.
I think there might be something else on too, so.
Yeah. The other point is, there's a slate that Jake removed, right, to deal with the grading, and there's an apron of the driveway that is, looks terrible because I'm in the historic district.
I saw it.
You've seen it. I would request that Jake regrade that whole area and put the slate back, if that makes sense. I did. He said you guys have to make that decision because it's just labor at this point. You still have the slate. You removed the slate. You brought it back down to DPW. Yes, it's labor because of the way the slope is going down.
How hard is it to do? How hard is it?
How hard? I'm not
Well,
qualified.
let me talk to Jake.
They're heavy.
Let me talk to Jake tomorrow.
The historic slate is heavy that I get, and they have to recess the stuff in front of my house.
Maybe we can make this tomorrow.
Okay.
Talk to him tomorrow.
But the ZBA referral called Mr. Frank, but he's not, if he didn't make it tonight, is he available?
Yeah, no, we said
Oh, okay, all right.
our date was 2 weeks, we meant to bring this.
All right, so can at least I get a referendum or something that, hey, what I'm saying is makes sense?
I said you got that.
All right, thank you very
And I'll
much.
talk to Jake tomorrow.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Next up.
Good evening, Robert Saladin, 1 Pine Court, Village of Montgomery. Yeah, that's right, no?
This is the white pen, might work better.
I only have 2 hands. Can't hold the mic. All right, can you hear me now? The Incorporated Village of Montgomery is a municipal corporation. The mayor is the CEO, the board of trustees is the board of directors, and the people are the shareholders. As such, the board is answerable and accountable to the shareholders, not the other way around. There are members of this board that believe they have authority over the people. They have a thirst for power and desire for control over everyone and everything. They believe that free people of this village must explain why they are in a public place or why they speak in a public place, and are demanding explanations. They're asking these questions and demanding answers in a perceived official capacity. The constitutional insult is not surprising based on the lack of respect they have for people's rights. As an example, they have passed rules for these very meetings, which contain in them several unconstitutional provisions that fly in the face of the First Amendment of the Bill of Rights. They think they can confer onto themselves immunity from direct scrutiny, criticism, and redress. They are wrong. Although we have seen my comments on the board interrupted on several occasions, these interruptions violated my First Amendment rights. The only restrictions to the free exercise of speech that case law and precedent recognize are time, place, and manner restrictions. The only limitations on the content of speech are fighting words or direct threats of violence or incitement. The Constitution is like an order of protection that serves as a shield from the government. It's not a sword to be wielded by the government.
People can stand here for 3 minutes and use profane and vulgar language, offer colorful opinion about individual board members, or sing a song, because we are protected from you. The burden of restraint rests on your shoulders, not ours. Decorum refers to the actions and behavior, not words. For example, if someone's words elicit an emotional response from people, they behave badly and violate the rules of the decorum, that would be on them, not the speaker. I've been hearing the term representative democracy being thrown around. I'm not sure where that came from or what they are trying to describe, but the nation is set up as a representative republic, and this board is not a representative anything. The Board of Trustees is a managing board. Trustees don't represent anyone or anything. If you want to represent people, run for Congress and try to join the House of Representatives. Then you will have the responsibility of representing the people of your district. Here, you are not representatives. Your powers and duties are spelled out in New York State village law, and it is to collaborate as a board and manage the affairs of the village. This mission, a couple of you have, to be fully engulfed and micromanage every aspect of everyone and everything that happens in this village, has gotten real old, really quick, and you're not even good at it. In closing, the vote of 3 trustees doesn't equate a monarchy. The concept of checks and balances is a two-way street. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Father Bass, 1 St. Jefferson Road, Village, Montgomery. Louder? Yes, please. I can do that. I spoke at the meeting on September 2nd regarding fire hydrants, as did a lot of the other residents. And there seemed to be a lot of confusion at the time. What I want to say is, in the last month or so, in the last 20 days, the board collectively has taken action in order to get almost all of the hydrants repaired, and I'd like to commend you for that, for working together to get that done. It's easy to criticize, but I'm also here to thank you on behalf of the citizens of the community. I'd also like to ask, the mayor mentioned there's 3 hydrants that are still out of service. Do we know where they are? The address? Yeah, could you give it to us?
One is 164 Clinton. One is on Charles Street, down the other block from my house.
That one wasn't on the original list.
And 42 Elizabeth.
How about 100 Railroad Ave?
Just 3.
And then the one on Charles Street wasn't on the original list of 40.
It's not at the end where I live. It's up more towards Western Village Wall.
Well.
That's Jake Aiken's house.
Yeah, that's
I'm pretty sure
that's
that's
fine.
right.
There's also a little discrepancy as to some of the addresses, but I'd just like to commend the board for taking care of that. I know there was a lot of confusion. Maybe I misunderstood a lot of things, maybe some of the citizens did. I'd also like to commend you for running a good meeting up to this point. Hopefully it continues. You well represented yourselves well as a committee that has the best interest of the public at hand.
Thank you.
Good evening, board. My name is Walt Bahookie, 99 Union Street. Lived here for 24 years. Unfortunately, due to my father's death, I've not been as involved as I'd like to since August. I try to come to as many meetings as possible. I have watched every meeting since then. Thank you, all of you, for your progress on the AV setup. For anyone who knows, it's been something that I've been pushing and helping for years. Why I'm here today, though, is in all my years of attending village meetings, there were many wonderful events and improvements, as well as many spirited debates. Tonight I want to go on record to express my disbelief and dissatisfaction that when the Village of Trustees voted to allow engineers to visit a village facility, that the mayor would blatantly disregard the will of the people, the will of the board, and direct a town employee to deny these engineers access. I have 3 questions for the board that I don't expect to be answered tonight, but I will follow up and look forward to an update at the next meeting. How is that legal? How is that allowable by the village attorney, who unfortunately is not here right now, but you can relay that to him? And what is being done by the board and the attorney to address this? My comment tonight has nothing to do with the merits of that inspection, the cost of the study, or the possibility of a pending village and/or town sewer merger. This is only regarding the concept of legality of the will of the board. Thank you.
Anybody else? Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Any room for discussion on that? Steve?
Have a great night.
Andy? Nate? Good night, everybody.